Well, hello, everybody. I'm Candido.
And I'm Samantha.
And this is Geeking Out with My Spouse. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about a anime that's kind of new, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's only got 2 seasons. I just kind of pulled it up on a whim for you to watch.
Yes.
And I think you liked it.
I did.
And that's called Wistoria Wand and Shield. So stay tuned. All right, so a little background on Wistoria Wand and Shield. It's made by the same creator of another anime that I also got you to start watching afterwards, but we're still working our way through that one. And it's from the same creator of Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Oh, yeah.
Or for short, they call it Danmachi, which has to do with the Japanese title of Is It Wrong to Pick Up a Girl in the Dungeon? I think it's like Dan means something and Machi means something, but yeah. But anyway.
We're caught up on that one, right?
No, we're not. I think the last thing you were watching the second season with the little blue monster from the dungeon that they were living with. But anyway, that's not what this episode's about. Oh, yeah. This episode is about Wistoria Wand and Shield. So yeah, first impressions of it. So did I give you any inclination of what it was about, or did I just start watching it with you? I don't remember if I gave you a background or not.
So you know what? I don't remember, but I don't think you did.
You just went into it just
because that was one that I think you had watched more recently, right?
Right. So I had watched the first season all by myself, and I saw the second season, and I was gonna start watching the second season, but I figured since you were starting to watch anime with me that it would be a good one for you because I feel like it checks a lot of boxes for you.
Yeah.
In terms of world building, emotional stuff, character development, things like that. So
I think what happened was things like that you don't really give me context for. So I have context of I had Demon Slayer and Solo Leveling and not really Jujutsu Kaisen because I don't think you really watched too much of that before. But those animes you had talked about before I even started watching anime.
Right,
so I think that's the kind of stuff that you were giving me context about, but only because I wasn't watching them.
Right.
So now we just sit down and we watch the animes. Even if you've watched a little bit.
Some of them I've seen before, and I'm I'll rewatch it. Some of them are worth watching twice or 3 times or 4 times. I've seen a few that, we just started watching Yu Yu Hakusho, which is my all-time favorite.
Yeah.
So whenever we get through that one, on top of our entire backlog,
because we're working on Attack on Titan as well.
Attack on Titan. Also, we also saw the Infinity Castle Part 1 movie.
Okay.
And we got it.
I don't want to talk about
We got to do an episode on that one because, giving you some time to let that marinate, and then we'll come back maybe next week with our talk on Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1.
Yeah.
But again, I digress.
I was not disappointed in the movie at all. Just very disappointed with the cliffhanger.
The cliffhanger? Yeah. And then the time between now and the next episode, which it's kind of crappy. But Wistoria Wand and Shield.
All right, Wistoria Wand and Shield.
So, for those of you who haven't seen Wistoria Wand and Shield, I'll give you a quick down and dirty rundown on what it's about. It's about it, or let's just start with the setting. It's in a world where everyone has magic.
In a world.
Yeah, in a world when everyone has magic. There's one boy who doesn't have any. And that's the main character, Will Surfort. He is an orphan. He has a best friend / girlfriend / I don't even really know, protector maybe that he was raised with, and her name was Elfie, but I can't remember the full
Elfaria.
And she's an ultra powerful wizard, and in this world there's like so many wizards.
And she's super in love with Will.
Oh yeah.
And she has pillows that look like him.
Yeah. So his pills and look. But anyway, in this world, there's like an outside force that's like endangers humanity.
Yeah.
And like the strongest.
Well, I think they're also wizards. They're just bad wizards, right?
I'm not positive because they really haven't. I don't think they really said what it is.
Well, there was that guy with that.
Yeah, but they were working for that entity.
Okay.
So yeah, but anyway, so like so the wizards sit atop a tower.
Mm-hmm.
They're like powerful wizards sit atop a tower, and they like provide a barrier over entire this civilization or
So
this world.
like it's like 6 of them, right? And they hold up the barrier.
Yeah, they hold up the barrier. They feed their magic energy to the barrier to like keep the.
It's like their full-time job.
Yeah, they just sit up there, and Will loses his girl Elfie. Because she's super powerful and he don't got nothing. He don't got no magic. So, but they wanted her so bad.
He's a sword.
Yeah, well, people don't know what the sword is yet. We want to talk about that.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? But so, he was like, they got to go to like a magical school and things like that. Thinking like Hogwarts, but a little more intense. And so Elfie graduates immediately, ascends to the tower, but Will's in the very bottom. He's basically a book learner because he ain't got no magic.
Wait, what do they call him?
They call him book learner, or they call him laggard.
Laggard.
Yeah. But so he stays in school, and the only reason he can stay in school is because he studies really good. He gets 100% on all his tests, and then to get he fails everything magic related, but he's able to kind of like counteract that stuff.
Because he goes in the dungeon.
Because he goes into the dungeon and he slays monsters and he gets points for every monster. So he's
really strong.
Because he's really strong, like absurdly strong, like the body of a dwarf is what they
said.
Yeah, he's like he has the body of the dwarf.
Apparently, dwarves are very strong.
Very strong, but they have no power. They have no
universe.
magic power. And the wizards and the dwarves had a war, and the dwarves lost. And now the dwarves kind of like live in the slums, and they're kind of like the labor of the magic society, which is pretty crappy. Anyway,
it is crappy because the wizards
they talk crap about them.
They treat them like crap. Yeah.
So the main story it revolves around Will trying to get to the tower to meet his girl again, and all the things that happen from that point to where we are now. So that's kind of the background without giving it too much away, because lots of stuff happens to Will, and a lot of stuff happens to Will in the in the school.
Yeah.
Right. So before we jump in, what are your thoughts on the series as a whole?
So I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like the story. It's very emotional, especially how they're orphans and they grow up together, and then we don't get the full story, but we get that like the what do you call it? Flashback. The flashback of where they're in the cave and Will saves Elfie, and
that's in season 2, I believe.
I think so.
You get to see that, yeah.
So we kind of, I did, and I think you did as well. You get that feeling like that's why he doesn't have any magic.
Yeah.
So, of course, obviously, we're trying to figure out what the heck's going on. I really like the storyline as a whole. I like the characters.
Do you have a favorite character? Because anybody would probably say Will, because he's inspirational. This is some kid who's has no magic, or does he? Wink, wink. And he's starting at the bottom, and he's trying everything he can to achieve his goals. People are looking down on him, beating him up, talking crap to him, but he's pushing through, trying to look forward to see his girl Elfie, and he's just steadily chipping away, working his way up to the tower. But that's Will, obviously. I don't know. Outside of Will, there's a lot of supporting cast. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of those characters are really cool in their own right, too.
So, I like I can't remember her name, the girl that likes him.
Oh, I can't remember her name either. Why can't I remember her name?
Is that?
She's the rock girl. I guess the Earth Queen.
Colette?
Colette. Yes,
okay.
Colette.
I like her.
Okay.
She's very supportive of Will.
She's overprotective of Will too.
Yeah. Well, they all are.
Yeah,
it's
it's
crazy.
like once he gets over their wall, it's like they're all for Will.
Yeah.
Right. He has to get over that wall first. They have to accept him, but once they accept him, it's like, oh man, everybody loves Will. So Colette is your favorite. Yeah. Is there a reason why?
No, I think I just like her as a supporting character in the way that she interacts. But I also like Rusty.
Oh yeah, Rusty.
But
Will's boyfriend. Kind of. Weird situation there.
that is a very weird situation.
Yeah. But yeah, we can talk about Rusty here in a second. But yeah, I like Colette too. I also like how like she knows that Will's heart is 100% for Elfie.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy how like dedicated she is to him, because I'm telling you, she like goes to war for Will. Like she always has his back. And then when he like mentions Elfie, she gets really jealous. But I mean, how you shouldn't get jealous. This dude told you his intentions from the gate.
Yeah.
That man is in love.
Yeah.
And he wants to get back to her. But yeah, no, so she's very supportive. There's another anime that like I said, anime called Don Da Don. It's kind of new. It has a really weird first episode, which a lot of people turned it off afterwards, so I won't talk about that.
Oh,
but
no.
There's multiple characters in there, and there's like this weird love quadrangle going on there. So like, like one character, the two main characters love each other, but then they have side characters who love the main characters, right? So it's like that the side characters love the main characters so much that they help them get with the character that they want. You know what I mean? Because it's like their love for them is so, I guess, so pure or whatever, that they just want to see them happy even if it's not with them. And I kind of feel like that's what ends up with Colette, is like she gets it, I think. I mean, she might not like it, but she gets it.
Yeah.
And so that's why I like Scion.
Yeah.
I like Scion. Well, I like Scion because obviously
he grows
on you, right? Like in the beginning, you don't really like him because he's an a-hole, right? He talks smack to Will.
Yeah.
He's like trying to fight him. He's like, he goes in the dungeon to because Will needs to slay a monster to get points, so he can graduate or move to the next level.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'm gonna take my crew down there and I'm gonna kill that monster, so that way Will can't get the points. He can get kicked out of the school.
Yeah.
And so, but they run into something else and it's too strong, and Will ends up saving Scion's butt, which gives him like an inferiority complex that lasts the rest of that season.
Yep.
No matter what, it's like, I want to fight Will. I hate Will. How can he be stronger than me? He ain't got no magic, blah, 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 blah. But you get a backstory in season 2 where like Scion felt bad for Will. Like when he first got there and he knew he didn't have no magic. And he felt bad. He tried to reach out to Will. And Will was so hurt already and closed off, he kind of pushed him away.
But he wasn't really mean to him.
He wasn't mean to him, but he like ignored him. Like Scion called out to him and he like leave me alone.
Well,
and he felt kind of, I guess he felt like, I don't know. I think he felt like Will was looking down on him because he didn't want to hang out or be friends with him or whatever.
Yeah.
And that started like the problem. But eventually I think they become friends.
Yeah.
So, which is cool to see him because he like goes to bat for him. He says a lot of stuff like you can't beat him, or if you beat him, then that means I'm not strong enough, blah, 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 blah. Things along those lines,
Yeah.
And I can't remember that ice dude's name, but I like him too. The ice dude who was talking stuff to Will and about the dwarves, and he was like, I'm going to join the...
Is that Julius?
Julius. Yeah, you got it. See? Julius, yeah, he talks smack about the dwarves. And then Will gets fired up. And he's like, all right, fine, we'll take it out in the wizard games or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when he teams up with Scion and Colette. And he has a big showdown with Julius.
And they lose anyways.
They lose anyway because the elf dude,
Wingall.
Yeah,
Wignall.
Yeah, he goes and he just like, you guys are fighting. We got to grab this cup. So why are you wasting your time? But anyway, yeah, I like him. He grew on me too because it kind of was the same thing. It's like they all look down on him until he shows them what's what, and then they're like, "Oh shoot, this is my dude."
Well, like Wignall and the he told him, he said, you don't touch an elf.
Yeah, he's like, that's reserved for people that I respect. I won't like shake your hand. I won't like touch you. You can't touch me. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
It's like, and then they spend some time in the dungeon, and Will shows everybody what's what, and he's like shaking his hand. You know, he like accepts him.
Yeah.
And that's like, it's like funny because I think the last person to come around, I want to say, was Julius, like for real. So like when they were in the dungeon, and it's like, when did everybody becomes friends with Will? Like Julius is like super confused, you know. But yeah, he goes to bat for him too, and ends up helping him get over his block, because he had a block too. Because the reason why he was there, and like the only elf there, and this is Wignall or whatever, is because his own people didn't want nothing to do with him.
His sister.
Because like his illusion magic was only an illusion, and it didn't have like physical traits or something. So like it couldn't compare or compete with.
It wasn't as powerful.
Right. So they were like looked down upon him.
Yeah.
You know. So he was kind of, he had like also had like an inferiority complex, which kind of made him snobby. Like, I'm an elf, but I'm also kind of like the run of the litter.
Yeah.
You know? And so he kind of had like a defensive thing about him too. But they all come around.
Yes, they do.
And it's just crazy to see that.
And then they get to the tower.
Yeah, they get to the tower, but not after a lot of stuff though.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff happens. So, you know, first you have the big first arc is the Wizard Games. I can't remember what it's called, because obviously we've seen season 1 a while ago.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm gonna call it the Wizard Games. Try Wizard Cup for you Harry Potter fans, right? But anyway. So that's like the first arc, right? And that's pretty cool. It like shows everybody like what Will got. You know, what does Will have? Because Colette and Professor Werkner didn't want Will to compete. Or at least Werkner didn't want Will to compete.
Well, no.
Because he was protecting him, of course. And then old Professor Snape, whatever his name is. Edward? Is it Professor Edward or something like that? Ah, god dang it.
Crap, I don't know.
He reminds me of Professor Snape, but he didn't want Will to even be in the school. But Werkner wanted him to be there. But
we were watching Harry Potter today.
Yeah, we were. And so, you know, Werkner didn't want him because he didn't want to see people he didn't want people to see what Will could do, because he knew things were going to change for him.
Yeah.
And like that first thing was pretty cool. I loved it when they wouldn't let him bring any swords in, and Colette, she made that sword out of the rocks, and he just went up there and took out all those like laser blocks and stuff, and that was pretty cool. But that's also the same time where Scion, you know, freaks out and like fights him, even though they're on the same team.
Yeah.
But in that whole first arc, is there a part of it that you liked more than any of the other parts? Of that first, I guess, event. Because there was a lot of stuff that happened in there.
There was
a lot of fights happened in there. A lot of cool, like, labyrinth type, you know, traps and obstacles.
Yeah.
And some cool characters fights, you know. Because I think that's when you also get to see Julius kind of show what he got, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he had that, like, weird, like, ice rose that would, like, freeze you to death. And then the end fight, when they're fighting and he makes the clones, and
he says Elfie did this to me. She said, what did he say?
She tortured me when we were kids. She made that spell when she was like 5 years old, and she tortured me when we were kids. Blah blah blah.
She was very upset about him saying that.
Yeah, she was. She was like, now everybody knows that why would he say that about me? But yeah, and
she was real.
Julius was like, what? This magical power that I've been trying to master was created by a 5-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
And defeated so easily, because Will could he knew, because obviously Elfie showed him everything when they were together, and he knew how to like easily see through Julius. You know? I can't remember what the heck they're called, because they have like those weird like really fancy Germany sounding names for all the spell. You know what I mean? For all the spells, like Frostweiss or like like all the names are like like kind of crazy. They're kind of hard to remember. But I definitely really like that fight though. I thought that fight was cool because showed everybody what Will could do. Showed, you know, his connection to Elfie and the fact that he knew how to take, you know, Julius down. And ultimately, he does beat Julius. He doesn't win the event, and Julius has to go to the dwarves and work for them and bust tables and do the the dishes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he has to like grovel and say sorry and everything like that, which I thought was pretty cool. And then the dungeon is kind of what happens next, which is when they fall.
That's when all the monsters start coming out that aren't supposed to be there.
Aren't supposed to be. There's like a dungeon break, I guess, but not really a dungeon break.
Yeah,
That's from a different anime. But
you know what's funny? You reference other animes, but and not that they're not all unique in their own way, but a lot of them do have the same type of things. Mm-hmm. So I mean, realistically,
I love how like I can like find connections to other animes or like ways that like makes it easier to understand newer ones, right? Because like dungeon breaks, you know, there's a dungeon breaks and solo leveling is a thing, right? Mm-hmm. But then also when we get to that point, not to spoil you because we aren't there yet, but there's a part when in Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon where there's like almost a similar mirrored situation where like the dungeon gives way and like some characters fall deeper than where they're supposed to be. We kind of saw that in the last season when in Danmachi, or Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in the Dungeon with Wolf or Welf. Dang it, the little fox girl. I can't remember her name.
Oh. Yeah, why can't I remember her name? Little bit, yeah.
When they fall down and they keep going down instead of like trying to climb back up, and they found the safe zone. So that kind of what happens in Wistoria. If you think about it, it kind of mirrors that almost exactly. Yeah. Which you can kind of tell that the author probably, since they're the same person, probably pulled a little bit of the dungeon aspect from, you know, Danmachi to Wistoria, because I mean, why not? You already have that built in there. And so like that was crazy because it collapsed deep, and you find out they're secretly like an organization that this is where that turn happens, where there's people pulling the strings on that dungeon break. Yeah. They're like the dude with no head or whatever. Who
eats people's heads.
Yeah, eats people's heads. And then there's like the dude, I can't remember if he had a mask on or not, but he's like evil dude, right? Yeah. And you can see that there's like another entity that's trying to destroy the wizard world, right? The magic world.
I'm really curious to see if somehow the Danmachi and Wistoria are related.
Are related a little bit?
Because Finn is the same exact character.
And the same voice. Yeah. Finn and Finn are the same character. Yeah. So it's crazy. I think it's just like a cool, like a little tie-in. I don't know if there's ever going to be a point where they're connected, because Finn in Wistoria, he goes with one of the freaking, why can't I'm blanking on the name, but like the top wizards, you know, the ones Mercedes Callis, that's like the name of the structure, but
no,
I
thought Mercedes was the lady.
Yeah, Mercedes is like the super strong wizard, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about like the six. Whatever the wizards, the top wizards are called. What are they? You remember what they're called? I can't freaking remember.
Oh, what Elfaria is part of.
Yeah, she's part of that squad.
I'm not sure.
He goes down there with the number one dude. Right, Finn does. He goes down there with the number one guy.
Magia Vanders.
The Magia Vander, right, cool. And he goes dungeon diving with the number one Magia Vander. And that's where they run into Will and his crew. Because they almost didn't make it. Like, they fall hard, you know, in the whole situation. And they kind of defeat one of the bosses, the Duke or whatever. But eventually, like, he comes back and they're like, oh, crap, after all that, you know, we're going to die here. And then you see Finn and the number one Magia Vander, the light magician dude that looks like Santa Claus or a dwarf. And they, like, you know, save them or whatever. And so Finn is diving in dungeons there, and he's kind of like diving in dungeons in Danmachi too. And he's part of, like, the top family or the top familia, you know. Maybe there could be at some kind of weird time, or it could take place like in a distant future past that, because Finn is like thousands years old, you know, so like we don't know. It could happen. That'd be kind of neat to find out if there's any kind of structure to that, or any kind of, you know, validity to that theory, because I think I would like that. That'd be a very interesting way to put them together.
I know. Yeah.
So there's that happens in the dungeon, and everybody loves Will. Even Julius doesn't really love him, but he like, yeah, I got it. This dude can beat me, or he's strong. Okay, he has his own his own situation. And then you also find out there that Will has the ability to absorb people's magic
into his sword.
And he can light people up with, so he combines his sword's fighting and strength and hardiness of dwarf power with that.
You know what I was kind of confused about, though?
What?
So he's taking it in through his sword, but is he absorbing it into his body, or is it all in his sword?
No, it's in his body too.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
okay.
And then it's like the pathways, right? So he can absorb it into his sword, and that like charges the sword up.
Yeah.
But then the residual, the stuff that doesn't fit in the sword, he can absorb and store it.
And he can use.
And he can call it later from himself.
Okay.
Through the memory pathway that he learns from the that weird red and blue haired wizard lady.
Yeah.
The witch.
The principal.
Yeah, but that's, you don't know she's a principal.
Oh, yeah.
Cauldron, Principal Cauldron,
Yeah.
or whatever. But she goes by a different name when she's in her younger form. But yeah, so you find out Will can absorb magic, and it's like, and then Finn also saw that, and he's like, Mercedes, because him and Mercedes were cool back in the day.
Yeah.
And Mercedes' goal was to create a hybrid sword and wand. They call wizards wands, in case you didn't know. So, they wanted to create a hybrid, and failed attempt after failed attempt, and, watching it and everything. Like, Finn handles the swords, which is the people who are, like, gifted with sword, and, like, the school handles the wands.
Yeah.
And finally, Will shows up, and he's, like, the perfect combination of both. Once you find out that, though, things kind of change. And then the last thing, I think, school stuff happens and everything. But
well, didn't they have Will when he was a baby?
No, so I thought that too. There's that flashback where she's holding the baby.
A baby.
But that's not Will, because that took place like a long time ago. But Will could have been a descendant from that child, but we don't know, and that might be explored later.
Okay.
But that's not Will, because that happened. I looked it up and went down a rabbit hole.
Oh, because I thought it was.
Because I thought it was Will too. And I
Yeah.
said, oh my goodness, that's Will. Like Mercedes is his mom? What? But it's not.
Well, so I didn't think Mercedes was his mom. I just thought that maybe like I don't know.
Yeah.
They just had him like
Or she,
somehow.
or maybe she saw the baby and she like messed with the midi-chlorians, in his system.
Oh, yeah.
Put a little Star Wars in it.
Yeah.
Mess with his magicules or whatever he has in there, and to start creating the first like hybrid. But yeah, and then the people from the dungeon break, after some school antics happen, testing and everything crazy, Will doesn't pass. He doesn't get to graduate, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's like a sad time, and then like it's like New Year's. Remember, it's New Year's, and when it's New Year's, the Magia Vanders have to redo the barrier, so they're tapped, like their body's like zapped of all energy. So this evil faction decides to attack the city on that night because they knew that they had to like do that. I swear that one Magia Vander's bad. I don't care what anybody says. The white one, like the white light wizard or whatever, the one that looks like a dwarf. I think that dude's bad. I don't know if that's to be discovered yet, but he be giving me bad vibes.
Yeah.
So he might.
I feel like you watch enough anime to know who's a villain.
Yeah, I get enough vibes from there. So they attack, and then like there's a high death toll.
Yeah.
And Will's out here slaying monsters, even though he knew he wasn't like going to the tower. Like he just gave up. He's like, I'm not gonna let all these people go down. And he's out here slaying monsters and saving people and stuff.
He saves everybody. Not everybody. He saves the people that didn't die.
Yeah, and then he fights the big bad. The big bad. They like summon a monster from like the 100th floor, and they bring it to the top.
Yeah.
And then Will has to fight that thing. And he like does this crazy sword technique, and he's like really tired, and Finn comes out and he's like, dude, you got that magic in you all the time. Like you don't need it to be charged.
And his hair turned white.
His hair turned white. He turned Super Saiyan,
Yeah, he did.
His hair turned white, it's longer, and he becomes like light speed, He's like zapping through the whole city, like slicing everybody, saving everybody.
Yeah.
And then he fights the big monster, and then during graduation day, the Principal Cauldron is like, here's everybody who graduated, but we have another graduator or a graduatee or whatever. A graduate. Jesus, why can't I get the words out? It's just like, if everybody knows the way to ascend the tower is either to graduate from the school with so many points or to create your own spell.
Yeah.
And so they, on the technicality, Will makes it because his
Because
spell.
he saved.
His spell. Well, he called it his original spell, Courage, or whatever, which made him his hair white. That one. So it's like, you created that spell, so you get to go to the tower, and that basically leads us into season 2.
Yeah.
All that 30 minutes of talking leads us in about season 2, which I thought season 2 was better than season 1.
Yeah.
Because while season 1 lays a lot of the groundwork in the
world building.
in the world building, right? Season 2, it's like you see the politics
Yeah.
a lot more than you do in season 1. Like, the tower is grimy, right? There's like the factions in the tower, and you have to be claimed by, by like
One of the Magia
Vander, or one of the factions, because some of those factions weren't Magia Vander, because there's like the dark faction. They're like assassins or whatever. They didn't have like a Magia Vander. There's like the fire dude, the lightning dude, the elf chick, Alfaria, and then like did I say lightning? I did say lightning.
Yeah, lightning.
And Alfaria, and then the white guy. So there's like 5 or 6 of them up there. And then there's the guy who handles all the colorless, who's the a-hole that tried to like sabotage Will.
Yeah.
So he didn't want him to even get chosen because he wanted to experiment on him.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then the lightning dude just trying to kill him.
Yeah, well, the lightning dude. I liked how.
Well, he wants him.
Yeah, I liked how like they failed. Him and Julius didn't get chosen, and a few other people also didn't get chosen, I believe. And
But Julius is helping him.
But like they're like, hey, come back in a week.
Yeah.
And retest. And so they try to train. Julius wants to help him. He does have ulterior motives because he feels like if Elfie's watching, she's not helping her boy Will, that she'll pick me.
She'll pick him
because I helped. And so they train. Nothing really happens. It doesn't happen until the Professor Cauldron's alter ego, I can't remember her name, like takes Will down memory lane, and he figures out the source of his power, his Whist power.
Because I forgot. He loses his memories every time.
Whenever he like unlocks like the like white hair version, I believe.
He loses his memories.
He like loses his memories or something.
I forgot that ended in season 1 with them
like fixing
restoring his memories.
Yeah, they're like fixing it. So you get the whole backstory. And I thought that was cool. I liked seeing Elfie and Will as kids and seeing what happened to Will.
Yeah.
And so like they're out there exploring. Elfie's super strong. Will, obviously, he's just a sword. But he doesn't know he's a sword. And they go explore. And
well, they know that there's something in the woods. They weren't supposed to be out there.
And well, Elfie's like, we can handle it together. We can do anything together, Will. Right? And so they go out there. And Will ends up, like, they getting attacked by, I'm going to say it was like a bear or something. Like a huge bear or a huge wolf monster. Something. And it takes him out. It takes Elfie and Will, and it hurts him real bad.
Yeah.
And like Will saves Elfie, and he ends up getting like an icicle in the back.
Yes.
Yeah, and he has like this huge scar in his back, and like that scar or that hit kind of like altered his body chemistry. Like it's almost like a block. So like he can't process the Whist or whatever very well. That's Whist is like Will's power, and so like she has to like unlock it or whatever. So Will saves her. He unlocks the Whist right then and there, and then they have to like redo his memory or whatever. So he forgets all about that power he has, and that's why when it happens the first time again in the dungeon, he's like, man, what is this? I'm trying to bring it back.
Yeah.
But he learns how to call upon it at will, and it's his own magic. He doesn't need nobody to charge it up for him.
Yeah.
He calls it through the memories of his experiences. So like he could call anything. So like a lot of his beginning was ice stuff, right? Because he had a lot of experience with Elfie. So like he pulled out like ice magic into his sword.
Yeah.
But then he also had fire because he charged the sword over Scion. Mm-hmm. And then like when the lightning dude, Zeo or something like that, I can't remember his name, he shoots that bolt at him. After it's all said and done, he pulls it out and he defeats himself. He gets chosen, or he almost gets chosen. The guy's like, that's not magic, blah 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 blah. It's a weapon, so on and so forth. The lightning dude's like, if he can stand a hit from me, then I'll accept him. And Elfie wanted to accept him right away.
Yeah.
But they were like, it's just going to show favoritism because like, we all know you want him, so someone else has to acknowledge Will. And then the lightning dude does. Zeo shoots his strongest blast at Will. Whew. Will absorbs it into his sword, into his body.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then one of the funniest things happens after that, which is when Elfie and Zeo fight. They fight over Will.
They fighting. I mean, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was a rough fight.
Mm-hmm.
She was.
It was good
bleeding.
though. They were going at it. It was probably one of the best fights too.
It was good. Yeah.
So I hear in the animation for that fight between the two was like so fast paced, like really crazy, like large. It felt big.
Yeah.
Right. So there's another wizard anime that came out this last season. They're called Witch Hat Atelier, and it apparently has some of the best magic animation out there.
Oh, we'll have to
so
watch
we
it.
may have to add it to the list. But yeah,
we have a long list.
yeah, her Crunchyroll watch list is ridiculous.
Huge.
Yeah, it's also because I get on there and I just like start adding stuff for her because like eventually I think she'd like it. But yeah, no, that. And then how did that end? Do you remember how that fight ended between Zeo and Elfie?
You know what? I don't remember how it ended. I just remember that
it ended in a funny way.
Will woke up
mm-hmm.
and he was like surprised because they were fighting.
Yeah.
He was like, "What?" And then I can't remember.
You don't remember the light dude coming down, making them play rock, paper, scissors? They wanted them to stop fighting. The light dude, the light body.
Because they had to put barriers up
yeah,
because they were like destroying the whole place.
Yeah, he came down. He was like, "Listen, y'all gonna settle this with rock, paper, scissors."
I may have missed that.
I don't think so. I remember you were sitting right next to me watching it. So they played rock, paper, scissors. He's like, "Y'all play rock, paper, scissors until one of y'all wins." And they went. It like you see like the sun or something change because they were going at it for like hours. They kept like tying.
Who won?
Zeo won. And so Will ended up having to tell Elfie, like, "Hey, you lost fair and square. I have to go with this dude. Even though I don't want to, I have to go with this dude."
I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that. But it doesn't matter. They're in the same place.
Yeah, they're still there. They can still hang out, I think. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't know if they can, though.
Oh.
Because he said something to her, and he was like, "I just have to work harder to get to you," or whatever. So, like, and then Werkner shows up. And he's like, "Let me take Will out to celebrate."
I thought that dude was dead.
I think there's like a secret to Werkner.
Okay.
Because he was impaled through the body.
No, not just impaled. There was a hole in him.
In him, yes. And he just shows up like,
yeah,
like, "What? I'm awake. I'm alive now." Like, how?
I don't know. Maybe he's a alien or a droid or something.
I don't know. He's magical. He's a magical being in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So maybe he's not even a real human. Maybe he's like a clone like Rusty. Forgot all about Rusty. Got on our tangent here.
You never explained Rusty.
Yeah, you can explain Rusty.
Rusty is one of Elfie's ice clones that is a boy. I know you can't see my hands, but in quotation, air quotes, a boy who takes baths with Will.
Yeah, who holds his hands.
And tries to fight girls over him.
Yeah, I know. He's like caressing him and stuff.
And
giving
shares
him hugs.
his drinks.
Oh, yeah.
And sits like...
really close.
I mean...
like awkwardly close.
Attached to him.
Yeah, he's really attached to him. Colette's like, is Will like... am I like worried about the wrong person here? You know, because she's not understanding. Yeah. But there's the theory with Rusty is that like, yes, she's... you know, he's a clone of Elfies or whatever, but you always see Elfie sleeping. Like when she's like looking down at Will, she's always sleeping. She's always in bed, racked out. She's always sitting on the ledge, looking down, racked out. She's always sleeping, and that's because she's transporting her consciousness into Rusty. So that's also why Rusty gets really jealous when Colette's around, because it's really Elfie the whole time. Like in, you know, the mental capacity that it is Elfie is just in the Rusty body, which is Rusty No Man is his name, like Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
But
Rusty dies.
Yeah, as Rusty dies, kind of. So I do know a little bit later that Rosti comes back.
Oh, well, because Rusty can always come back.
Right. So Rosti comes back.
Rusty's a nice clone.
Yeah. But anyway, so there's that. But that's to be shown later at a later day. But going back to it, maybe because Elfie and Will still can't be together even in a tower because they're in different factions. Maybe that's where Rosti comes from. Maybe that's why Rosti's back. But Werkner like pulls Will out after like the graduation or the acceptance to the faction. He's like, hey, there's a person that wants to see you.
Yeah.
And he takes Will off campus out of the tower, and he has a little one-on-one time with Elfie. And they like, we're going to work to see this sunset or the sky from the top of the tower, blah, blah, blah. They have like this weird goal. And they're going to do that. Yeah. So I think that maybe they still can't be together. But,
well, that sucks.
Yeah, I really want to see what happens. Going forward, I'm really excited to see where it goes. Like, how strong can Will really become? Can he be a Magia Vander with his power? Considering he can't like project his energy like that to like put the barrier up, Is there?
But how do you know he can't?
I mean, we don't.
He could soak up enough. He could. He
could soak up everybody's and just be a one-man Magia Vander.
One-man band. Yeah. When did season 2 come out? Do you remember?
Just this last season. It just came out.
Oh, so...
Yeah, we were episode to episode. We were waiting.
Oh, we were,
yeah,
weren't
we were waiting episode to episode, and then episode to episode on a delay because you don't like to read it, so we have to...
I can't read.
So we have to wait for it to come out in English.
How many times do I gotta remind you?
I know.
I can't read.
Yeah, so who knows when it's coming out again, if it comes out again, I think it got renewed, but it'll be a while to see.
Better.
Yeah, I hope so. But it's definitely a good one.
Yeah.
And after we finished that one, that's when I told you about Danmachi.
And that's when we started watching
Danmachi. So we saw season 1, but we haven't really finished season 2.
So we got to finish that.
Got to finish that. We got to finish a bunch of stuff. Of stuff. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
I say, man, Wistoria Wand and Shield or Wand and Sword. Geez, Wand and Shield. Have I been saying Wand and Shield this whole time?
You know what? I think you have been saying Wand and Shield.
It's Wand and Sword.
Well, you know what?
What?
It's. I think you're mixing with Pokemon.
Sword and Shield? Oh my God. Yeah, maybe. Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
Because I think that's what I said. Yeah. I think I said Sword and Shield.
Maybe you said it. And then I oh my God, we're going to have to go back to the beginning of this thing, and I might have to re-edit it to make sure I don't say it.
No, we're not re-editing it.
Oh my God.
Because now they know.
Oh crap.
We screwed up the whole episode.
If you got to the end of the episode, you're going to figure that out.
If you didn't get to the end of the episode, screw you.
No, I can't say that to people out there. Anyway, any last thoughts on Wistoria Wand and Shield?
Watch it.
Everything we put on here, watch it. Because it's good.
It is good.
And some of these are good even to watch with kids.
And I wouldn't say that it was good if it wasn't good. Because remember, at the beginning of this, I didn't like anime.
Exactly. And now, she's coming around. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that's all we have. I'm Candido.
And I'm Samantha.
This has been
Geeking Out with My Spouse.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Geeking Out with My Spouse. We love getting to share our nerdy rabbit holes with you, and the fact that you're here listening means the world. If you want to support the show, the easiest way is to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. You can also leave a rating or review. It helps more than you think.
Do you want to go the extra mile? Share this episode with a friend. Tag us on your socials. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Or send us your wild theories and fandom hot takes at geekingoutwithmyspouse@gmail.com. We'll be back next time with more cozy chaos, more geekery, and probably at least one moment where one of us says something we immediately regret. See you then.